Today's adventure begins as the recording of this TGIF, Friday, December 29th, 2023, 12:09, little afternoon, 9 minutes after noon. And I'm going to make myself, in the comfort of my own home, a piping hot, caffeinated beverage. The return of the Keurig. Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. For the first time ever, I can say I am a homeowner. Cheers. So yeah, I bought a house in Celebration, Florida. I'm pretty dang excited. I've been moving for the past month, slowly moving stuff over from my one-bedroom apartment into a much bigger place. I'm gonna give a little bit of a tour, not too detailed. Keep in mind that it's still a work in progress. It is definitely not in disarray. I've been working pretty hard putting everything together, ordering furniture, moving furniture I already had, getting new stuff, putting shelves together, etc., etc. Wearing an appropriate t-shirt here to stay. Let's look around. Join me. It's a good day. Shall you? That's extra tasty. Again, this is going to be a work in progress. I'm going to add all the little touches, little things, nuances over time. This is my first official day in here, even though I've been sleeping in here in my room for probably the last 7 to 10 days. I moved my bed around that time frame, and yesterday handed in the keys at the apartment. So some stuff I've been ordering. Amazon Prime is one of the greatest things ever, so I've been ordering a lot of furniture and putting it together. The table, previous owners left here, so I like that, so I end up keeping that. It's a pull-out kind of deal, but the chairs I ordered, these shelves, again, these will be filled up over time. I still have to unpack a few things and put some items in here as well. And then over here in the corner, I bought a little bonsai tree as well. And I'm gonna put some tiki stuff through here. I figured out exactly where I'm gonna put all my tiki things as I collect them over time. These are kind of neat. So these duck bookends, my friend Todd Venture, he has a channel, Todd Venture, in the Charlotte area. So just south of Charlotte is where Fort Mill, South Carolina is, which is where Heritage USA was. And his family, his mom and dad, used to work for the Bakers, and these were Tammy Faye Baker's personalized in her office bookends. And I love the movie The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and I'm fascinated by that whole fiasco. So he said, "Do you want these?" a while back. He gave me a really good gift, so I kind of treasuring those. So this is the kitchen. A few things were kind of left over from the previous owner, like that fork and spoon on the wall. I decided to leave that. But everything else I've added myself. I moved this over, this really good piece of artwork from a local here named Hubert. You can see his signature there. And it's basically a spoof of the silent film where the guy's like dangling off the clock tower in LA, but that's the Celebration Market Street where my apartment used to sit. So got the fridge. I'm not gonna adorn my fridge with tons and tons of magnets. I'm gonna put the magnets over on the side over here. But in the garage, I've ordered 3 or 4 storage cabinets that are metal that I'm gonna have all my magnets on, that I can expand on my magnet collection. I'm gonna do a huge, vast plethora of things in the garage. It's gonna be basically a working garage. I'm gonna end up having some creative space down there as well. I'm also gonna have a creative space in the Woodio. There are multiple bedrooms here. There's a garage. So I got plenty of room to expand on what I was doing before. Again, this is just a sample version. You got the dishwasher there, you got the oven, you got the microwave. I brought my Kit Kat clock as well. So this is good. Basically, I would probably be filming quite a bit in here. This is the main living quarters, more or less. So this is basically where a lot of the probably see a lot of this. I'll probably leave some of the personal spaces like the guest bedroom and my personal bedroom. I won't be showing that a whole heck of a lot. I'll show a little bit of it now just to kind of give a sample version of kind of the layout. Something I've wanted for many years. My friend in Denver Jim, I like to refer to him as. I stayed with him multiple times. And he has one of these love sacks. Like, dude, you got to get a sack. So I got a sack. A shout out to him for recommending the love sack. It's a love sack, baby, not love shack. These things are insanely comfortable. This rug really ties the room together. Brought that over from the previous place. And I'm a big fan of cinema and movies. Even got old Hitchcock right there above the couch. So he will be watching things with me as I'm in the sack there. Plenty of room for guests to come over. We have movie nights. It's also interesting that this little footstool ottoman here is almost the same price as a glorified beanbag. I never thought, there's a time in my life where I never thought I would buy a glorified beanbag. But here we are. Very comfortable. I'm also stepping into the world of 4K. Got a 4K Blu-ray player right there. I also got the sound bar and a 4K TV, which I have been watching. I probably watched more movies in the last 3 or 4 nights than I've watched in the last few months since I was doing the treadmill, which I need to get back on track with that after New Year's. But it is really amazing at night. Lights off. You got the 4K on. Big TV. Sound bar kicking. It's a whole different experience. And this is the first time I bought my Elvis photo here, young Elvis, looking at himself in the mirror of the star he was going to become. So I have this at my apartment too. And I've added something as well over here next to the sack itself. Big fan of Three's Company, one of my all-time favorite shows. I've mentioned it many times. For years, I wanted this poster. So if you watch Three's Company in the kids' apartment right next to Jack's room, kind of like up that little step that he would always do his little improv and physical comedy on. It was like a little step that went up behind the couch up to the doorway almost, and then led into his room. This poster was here, or there in the episodes. So you could see this in nearly every episode of Three's Company through all the seasons. And I've always wanted to own this, so I ordered this, got the frame for it, and now it adorns my new home as well. I should also mention, just because I now own a home, I'm not going to stop traveling. I'm always going to continue things. Now, in the next month or so, there'll probably be a lot of Central Florida vlogs. But I want to continue doing small towns and travel videos, going cross-country, things like that. I'm going to tone it down a little bit. I don't think I'm going to do any like 4 or 5 week excursions for a while. But I will travel continuously because I love Americana and traveling, but I definitely want to enjoy some home time. I picked this up the other day from the art walk when I got my car towed. This piece of art here. This is great because I lived in Hollywood for a long time. I lived in SoCal for a long time, and I love Hollywood studios here. They remind me both of each other because they are modeled after each other. MGM Studios was built based on all the structures in LA, at least most of them. There's a couple that aren't LA structures, but 95% of them are real buildings in LA, including this one. So this artist at the art walk drew this, and I saw this, I go, oh man, I have to have that. So I purchased this called Sparkle on Sunset Boulevard. This is the first thing you see when you're walking down Sunset off Hollywood. Here in Florida, you see the Hollywood Tower over there. In fact, they even have this billboard here, an artistic rendering of that. Fun fact about this building, I think the 2nd and 3rd Academy Awards ever took place inside of the real building that the building at Studios is modeled after. I'll give a shout out to this artist as well. I had him sign the back. Lee Van, can't tell if it's Horton or Holton. It's Lee Van something art, based out of this area. But I really love that piece, and we talked for quite a while. I was kind of talking his ear off about a lot of the stuff in Hollywood studios and how they're based on. Told him a few things he didn't realize, told me a few things I didn't know. Just had a pretty good conversation about the old MGM days. I just realized I gotta get going and meeting up with my parents over at the Loop, which is about 20 minutes from here, for a lunch. So I'm gonna go meet up with them. Also might do some shopping. So I'll show some of the rest of the place a little bit later this evening when I get back, or this afternoon, and kind of talk about some certain things and about the homestead. I'm gonna get going. Actually, I do have a minute or two to spare, so I'm gonna real quick just show the guest bedroom, at least what it looks like now. Got the Disneyland map over there on the wall. Got a mirror right here, stand-up mirror, queen-size bed. So friends, family, acquaintances will be staying there. Friend Jason. King Woovian, if you will. He painted this for me when he came to visit me in Anaheim or Orange years ago. He signed it there 2016, so got his artwork on the wall. Nothing too fancy in here, nothing too crazy, just a little casual decor for guests that are coming to visit. And there will be quite a few over the time duration. And here's the main living quarters, if you will. Got my little workspace down here. This is not going to be part of the Woodio. I'm going to create a whole other room, which is going to be the Woodio, which is not going to be for personal stuff and my personal laptop there and things like that. Also moved my other TV that I had at my place. Got my regular Blu-rays in here. Got my Haunted Mansion stretch room. Girl over there with the gator. Got the bed in here. Ended up getting a new bed frame as well. So this is just kind of the layout in here. 2 bathrooms here too. Again, this is going to be a work in progress, but I've already kind of put a little bit of effort into decorating here. This is going to be the nerd game corridor of goons room. I don't even know what to even call this yet. But I have my corridor of goons emblem up there. I got Woobraham Lincoln, and not forgetting my roots, I got Large Marge right there. I got my Disney pins. I will kind of tackle all that and dive deep on those at some point. I got my base here, down here. I've been kind of rocking out a little bit, practicing a little bit. Who knows where that will lead? Got my little figurines that I've shown before. Used to wear the chain wallet for decades. Got that down there. Got my magic bands. Again, I don't want to show too much of this because there's a lot to cover in here, including lots of knickknacks, artifacts, paraphernalia, just all kind of collectibles all down in here. Baseball cards, Disney stuff. I didn't want to go full in on Disney throughout the whole place. I didn't want my whole house to be like, oh, it's all Disney stuff and all nerdy stuff and all baseball stuff. So I'm going to put those in select areas, for example, in here. And I also have my NES. I'll be doing a lot of NES playing. I've already purchased these chairs here so I can have a friend over. We can go to bed. We can battle down on the NES system. I got the old school TV, which it looks amazing on. Brought over from California. Had it here for a while. Now I'm gonna start putting it to good use. All right, I get going. Yeah, I don't know what name to call this, but I guess I could refer to this room as the Corridor Goons, but maybe not. Maybe like the nerd room, the nerdery. I don't know. This shelf needs a lot of items on it. My sister got me this for Christmas. This is freaking awesome. This is a artistic rendering. A personalized artist created this. I don't think this is from Disney per se, but it is the Haunted Mansion. And it lights up all the hitchhiking ghosts. It's just really, really cool. And this is a Randotti skull. They used to sell these at Disneyland. And this is also a Haunted Mansion artifact. More on that later. This is pretty rare. These are also my new favorite things ever. Just saying. Out in the garage now, which there's a lot out here. I still have a lot to unpack, a lot to put away, things like that. But the thing that's neat about these, obviously they add a lot of security, but this is also pointed in the garage, among others. But I can tell when the garage door is opened or closed, so if I leave, I can be like, did I close the garage door? I just look on my phone. I can tell if I did or not. This is the first place I've ever had anything quite like these, and I'm loving it so far. I'm loving the instant notifications and instant video feed, no matter where I'm at. Such a great area to be. Got the local fire department right there. Got the hospital on this road as well, the library. I have to tell you how much I love Celebration. And I finally decided that I just wanted to plant roots here, so I did. I'll be here to stay, if you will. Stay in a while. Long time. Not only the Advent Health Hospital there, but also the top floor. It's my gym. Doctor's offices, hospital. Everything you need right here in this little community. In the bubble, they call it. They call Celebration the Bubble. All right, just finished up an enjoyable meal with my mom and dad here at this Olive Garden. Now gonna head over to Rooms to Go. Look at some stuff. Not really sure what I'm doing here, if I'm gonna buy anything, or probably just do some window shopping. Maybe hit a couple other places too. The Loop's, well, just shy of the Loop. The Loop is the next block over, but a lot of furniture stores on this block. All right, next door now over to Lowe's. I was at Home Depot the other day, and now on to Lowe's. Buying stuff. Picked up a few items. I got this little touch lamp here, which I can use. I want to turn like lights on in the main room. I could just go in and touch the base of this and turn that on. I also got some light bulbs, some things you put on the ground for some of the furniture to keep it level and keep it from scratching the floor. What else did I get? I also got night lights for the hallway and bathrooms and things like that. Just some light stuff. A little bit at a time. It's kind of hard to wrap my head around. It's a little surreal in a lot of ways, but also hard to wrap my head around the fact that I might have to pay a rental fee anymore for a place, because my whole life, any place that I've lived in, with the exception of in a van or RV, I've had to pay a monthly rental fee. You know, when it's usually the first of the month, you got to pay that. You got to pay that rent that goes up every year. And I got kind of tired of doing that, and I wanted to plant roots. So I decided, you know what? Heck it. Celebration of the place. But I want to do that. There were a number of places that I did have in mind. In fact, something I've been thinking about for a little while. I did contemplate continuing renting. And I've stated this before, I thought about moving to New York City. I thought about moving back to LA. Of course, house prices in LA pretty insane. Not that they're cheap here, but they're not quite on LA's par as far as the houses go. Even Florida's definitely increasing quite a bit, which also got me thinking, I should get on that now before that kind of even gets too late. So I did it. Looked at a place in Waycross, Georgia a few months ago. Just randomly found a really good property in Waycross, Georgia. Drove all the way up there. Even told the realtor I wanted it. And on the way back, changed my mind. Said, what am I doing? I don't want to live in Waycross, Georgia. Drive 4 hours down to see my parents, 4 hours to Disney World. But I thought this would be a good place to plant some roots, settle down, be here years from now. Always going to be a pass holder at Disney World. Love Walt Disney World. Central Florida area is where I have called home since '91, with the exception of being back and forth and living on the West Coast for a little while. Family here, a lot of friends here, a lot of memories here, and it's just a good place. And I like the fact that MCO, Orlando International, not far away. I could go drop my car off there, hop a plane to any other hub for a relatively not so bad price. Other places I contemplated looking, I looked at houses, which a few years ago, there was a house that I almost jumped on in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area. I didn't do it. I could have ended up there, and decided at this point in my life, didn't really want, you know, as the years went by, didn't want to do the Pigeon Forge Gatlinburg thing. So Georgia, off the table. Pigeon Forge Gatlinburg area, off the table. SoCal, off the table. And then also, I almost forgot, Marceline, Missouri. I was just in Marceline a few months ago, and I looked at 3 different houses there, 2 or 3 different houses, and none of them really kind of jumped out at me. So really there were 4 other places besides Florida I was thinking about planting roots in. And once I really started kind of, I'll say soul searching, but kind of, you know, just contemplating a little more, I realized this is where I needed to be. So this is where I'm ended up. As stated, going to continue traveling. Still got that desire to hit the road, and we'll be doing that into next year as well. In fact, even after I stop the daily videos, which I'm planning on stopping this time next year at the end of 2024, I'm going to be changing formats throughout the course of next year. It's a studio. I'm coining it the Woodio. Once that is done at the new place, I will be utilizing that a lot for content as well, and also bigger projects like I have done in the past that are not possible to do when doing daily vlogs. So I'm going to start phasing out the daily vlogs and end it, if all goes well, this time, actually about a year from now, New Year's Eve, 2024, so starting in 2025. And buying a house really kind of helps me to accomplish that goal. Pretty wild. It really hasn't sunk in yet, but wow, I'm a homeowner. I would also like to state the obvious. I don't need anything. Don't send anything. Don't mail anything. Don't drop anything off. Don't assume that I require anything. I don't need anything. And I put a lot of myself out online, of course, showing a place that you reside in. People are very kind-hearted. People have, I would say 96%, it's just a made-up number, of people have very good intentions. And if you are one of those with good intentions that just assumes that I could utilize something that you so deem that you want to send, just scratch that off the memory. Please do not. In fact, there are way more people out there that could use things more than I, so don't send anything. Anything that gets sent will be given to one of the thrift stores here on 192. Either that or returned to sender, but probably will just end up not being opened and dropped off elsewhere for someone who could utilize it. I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to look at it. I'm just not going to accept anything being sent. So please, this is going to be starting from this point till forever. So just at my own accord, I like to kind of furnish the place and kind of go from there. And also, I'm always in town. I'm always up at the downtown Starbucks, all that. Can't stop anyone from doing anything, but obviously not going to be doing any meet and greets, at the homestead or anything like this. So just keep that in mind. When you put yourself out on the internet, privacy becomes a thing of the past, or privacy doesn't really exist. So you can't really do anything about that. But obviously, if I'm around in town, if I'm walking in front of the water tower, if I'm downtown on Market Street, or if I'm at Starbucks, or I'm in the parks, anything like that, feel free to say hi. I won't be answering the door. Will not be fraternizing in the yard. Well, that's going to do it for today. Don't send anything. Peace and love. Peace and love. Warning you with peace and love, like Ringo said. I can't believe I bought a house. I'll see you in the next video, the vlog. Peace and love. Peace and love. The vlog is over. No drop-offs, no mail, no correspondence, no letters, no packages. Nothing will be answered. Nothing will be replied to. Nothing will be accepted. Nothing will be opened. Peace and love. Peace.